very important. And it doesn't necessarily have to be tonight. You don't have to go 3 for 4 tonight. You don't even have to produce a whole lot this year. But at some point, when you look at what Pat Gillick's talking about, 2017, 2018 contention, which is reasonable. It's a little long, but reasonable. At some point, your farm system is going to have to produce. And this guy, Franco, is central to what you're trying to produce out of your farm system. He can't fail. If he fails, this project could be a lot longer than people think.
Yeah, and do you find that there's more pressure on him because the team is not good, or is there less pressure on him because the team is not good?
I'd say less pressure because the team is not good. There was when Dominic Brown came into the mix. And this is a separate issue. Dominic Brown, he can't play, but at the time you thought that he might be able to play. He definitely was unable to handle the pressure of pennant expectations. No doubt about it. Was not able to handle that. Franco is a different guy. Who knows what he's able to handle? But yeah, he'll be able to develop with a team that's going to finish last or next to last, and be able to play without great pressure, and that could benefit him. And yeah, so I would say less pressure. They're not bringing him up to put them over the top by any stretch. They're bringing him up to get him ready now so that he'll be ready in 2017.
Yeah, and we saw Jack McCaffery's with us from the Delaware County Daily Times. We saw when Brown came up, and, there was so much hype. He was the number one prospect in baseball. They didn't want to trade him for Roy Halladay. How much do you think Brown set this team back and put them in the position where they are right now?
Tremendously. If they'd have made the trade for Halladay, and at the same time they made the trade for Lee, and they could have done that. They had the pieces to do that, and the one that they held on to was Dominic Brown, thinking, I don't know what they thought he was going to be. He was an all-star one time. If they'd have done that, let's just say they would have won the 2009 World Series. I don't want to take anything away from the Yankees, but at that particular time of his career, Roy Halladay owned the Yankees. He threw a two-hitter against them every time he pitched. At least it seemed like it. So if they'd had Roy Halladay and Cliff Lee and Cole Hamels in that rotation, they were going to win that 2009 World Series. So now you're talking about 2008, 2009. Now you're talking about a mini dynasty. Maybe they get a little luckier and maybe they feel a little bit better about themselves in 10, 11 go forward and win one more, and they can rest on that for a long time. Then they really start to get momentum. Instead, it flattened out. So, yeah, the fact that they didn't trade Dominic Brown for Roy Halladay in 2009 set them way back. Okay, now they said, we think this guy's a pretty good player. And he was a hard worker, but no instincts at all. Just no baseball savvy and inability to execute at the right times. It was shocking, really, when he had that great 6 weeks and made the All-Star team 2 or 3 years ago. To his credit, he worked hard at that, and he did well, but it all comes out in the wash that was a bad misjudgment by that entire organization at that time. And Amaro was the general manager at that time, but Gillick was still on the payroll, and Charlie Manuel was still on the payroll. They're all there. They all have a piece of it. Whoever decided that Dominic Brown was going to be a superstar really, really made a mistake.
Well, let's hope they don't make a mistake with Franco. Do you think that Franco is a safer bet than maybe Brown is? Now, I mean, obviously, hindsight is 20/20 with Brown. We now know what he is and what he became. But do you think that Franco has better tools than Brown did back then? Now, Brown was the number one prospect in baseball. Franco's nowhere near that high on list. But do you like Franco better as a long-term potential guy than you did Brown?
We saw him in last year. He came up for the 16 games and made some absolutely remarkable defensive plays. Also made some defensive plays that really showed that he needed more major league seasoning. Tried to do too much defensively, tried to make the spectacular play when he didn't have to. These are mistakes that at that time his 21-year-old, just out of the minor leagues, is going to make. If they can correct those kind of mistakes in the next few years, he is going to be a Gold Glove defensive third baseman. He's shown some pop in the minor leagues. He's shown a little bit of pop. He certainly is a streak hitter. He's been known to be a streak hitter, and the So I think he's got to. There's no reason why he shouldn't succeed, and I kind of draw a parallel to what it was like when they trusted Carlos Ruiz a few years ago. There was a lot of thought: is this guy going to be a big league player? Is he not going to be a big league player? Is he good enough? I don't know if he's good enough. Maybe he's good enough. Writing columns at the time saying, trust your farm system. Trust it. If this is the guy that you believe is going to be your next star, then bring him up and give him an opportunity. Turns out Carlos Ruiz had a very, very productive career, and I know it's a different position, but I think it's the right time to trust Franco at this time.
I kind of agree with you, Jack, and I'll ask you this question then: do you understand or like the way that the Phillies handled this with Ashe? I mean, I have a hard time thinking they didn't see this coming and that Ashe has not played any left field in any spring training or anything. What if Ashe was hitting he got off to a hot start. What if he was hitting 320 still to this point? Do they end up still getting rid of him and sending him down?
That's a great question, Mike. That's a great question. I would say no, that they would not have done this. So they're killing two birds with one stone here. They're going to give him the opportunity to play left and also try to get his bat back where it's supposed to be. It was mangled. There's no doubt about it. Butcher, they messed it up at every possible angle. I get the real sense that they didn't anticipate just how disappointed that Ashe would be. It caused a little bit of caused kind of a depression in the locker room the night I was in there when it happened. Utley, Francoeur, Ruff, these guys all just hung around Ashe for a long, long time after the game, trying to console him. I've been in major league clubhouses for a long time. It was kind of, I never saw a guy that devastated about being dropped back to the minor leagues. I remember the night that they brought Cody Ashe up to the major leagues. His parents were there and all. He was so proud. And he hasn't been the world's worst player. When you talk about a team that's having this bad a year, I think he felt as if, what am I, the scapegoat here or what? And as you mentioned, all of a sudden now they've got to send him to Lehigh Valley for 10 days to learn how to play left field. What's he going to be, Barry Bonds when he comes back? Would he have been that much a catastrophe to put it in left field at the major leagues and see if he can't catch a ball? I don't know. You've seen they've made Burrell a left fielder, going way, 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 way back. Luzinski, some other guys over the years. You can make a left fielder. It's not the most difficult position in baseball, especially in that ballpark, which is a very compact left field. And they were in the middle of a homestand here. I don't know why they had to disrupt Cody Ashe's career like that, but you might have circled around to it where this gave them an excuse to do it and get his bat back in order, because he really had begun to slump.
Well, another question would be then, if he's going to be their left fielder, does he project a left field bat? I mean, is he a guy, you look for power and some production from that left field spot. Is he a guy that you like as your everyday left fielder with that bat?
Boy, I'll tell you, he's right on the fringe. He's the kind of left fielder that you can lose with. To be frank, there's worse left field. I'm talking about bat. As a bat, you'd see worse, you'd see better. He's the kind of corner outfield bat that fourth place teams generally have. You know what I mean? It's like I don't need Cody Ashe to, but let's see. He's young enough. He does sting the ball sometimes. He's a left-handed hitter, which there's a value to that. They're going to give him a chance to see if he can't become a little bit better hitter in the minor leagues and give it one more shot at it. And certainly Dominic Brown's had enough shots at it, so give Ashe one more shot at it. But I wouldn't have great enthusiasm that he's going to come up and be a pennant-winning left fielder. No.
Jack McCaffery is a sports columnist for the Daily Times, and of course the Phillies have Franco in the 5-hole tonight, Utley in the 6-hole tonight. Grady Sizemore is hitting 3, and the future doesn't sound like it's getting any closer with those guys hitting 3 and 6 tonight, and Howard, of course, in the middle. But Franco will be the guy to watch. Jack, thanks for your time. Great column.
My pleasure, Mike. Thank you very much.